Hello, everyone. I'd like to start off with the Bible verse. But who shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me? It were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he was drowned in the depth of the sea. Read the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Hope everyone's having a great day. Got two different stories, one at 1 and one at 1:30 with the same name. This one is a 26-year-old, and at 1:30 I'll be talking about a 50-year-old. A Nashville man, Derrick, 26-year-old, arrested in a child porn case. All right, I'm going to go ahead and make it be like the full page thing. Present your screen. Of course, I have to share. Guy right here, Derrick Hines, man arrested on child porn charges after explicit videos found in Dropbox account. Okay, a Nashville man was arrested on child porn charges Thursday night. Hello there, Jackie. After authorities found numerous explicit videos in his Dropbox account. According to Metro Police, detectives received a cyber tip from an internet cloud storage provider based on information from the tip. A search warrant for the contents of the Dropbox account of 26-year-old Derrick Hines was issued. Investigators searched Hines' account and found 41 videos of minors engaged in sex acts. 41. The investigation showed the files were uploaded in 2016 with no attempt to delete them, according to authorities. Hines' bond was set at $10,000. I really believe they should do it even higher than $10,000. I really do. And here's a Nashville man charged with sexual exploitation of a minor in a child porn case is the same guy. Based on information contained in the tip, a search warrant for the contents of the Dropbox account was issued. Detectives from the MNPD's Internet Crimes Against Children Unit located 41 videos of minors engaged in sex acts. The investigation showed that the files were uploaded in 2016 and there were no attempts to delete them. A judicial commissioner set bonds for Hines at 10,000. There he is right there. Derrick A. Hines, 26-year-old. Now so that I could go so we could go watch the video which basically says the same thing. Oopsie daisy. This will be the one I do at 1:30. This is a different Hines. See right here? He's 50-year-old. This is pretty bad. Okay. I gotta go change my StreamYard the audio. I don't mind sharing my audio.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd, the goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Experience Predators hockey all season long. Visit Nashville.
If you're ready to love your floors again, then it's time to visit Parker Floors, where Murfreesboro shops for carpet, hardwood, luxury vinyl, laminate, tile, and custom area rugs. We carry many exclusive product lines, so we give you plenty of options. Parker Floors will match any competitor's price. We're family owned and operated, and all our professional installers are employees.
New this morning, a man has been arrested after police say they found child pornography in a Dropbox account. It came as a cyber tip from the internet storage provider. Metro Police tell us 41 videos were found on 26-year-old Derrick Himes' account. Investigation shows the files were uploaded back in 2016. He's now charged with sexual exploitation of a minor.
The Tennessee Lottery is proud to have raised over $6.8 billion for education in Tennessee. That's why our kids are so smart.
Okay, I got that done now, and it's good to see you as well. This one is short and sweet, but we got to get this information out there. I hope somebody's child is not involved in that. I'm glad he got caught also. Makes you wonder, yeah, glad he got caught with the stuff, but I am hoping he gets more charges against him in case he is the person in the videos. You know what I'm saying? What if he was the child rapist? You know what I'm saying? What if he was? One thing that brings me to mind is, this other guy that I'm going to be doing at 1:30. He's also named Derrick Himes, but he's 50 old, and he actually raped a girl back years ago. So it kind of makes me wonder about who else could this person had really done, and if it was any of his victims, whether these two people are related or not. Because initially he had lived in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, when he did these acts that he recently got arrested for. And he got 3 charges about raping a child. And, but it's the same name. But it's just, like one's 26, another one is 50. But he ended up being caught in Louisiana, so he moved away from where he done the crime. But I've got a feeling there's got to be a connection between the two guys. You know what I'm saying? Be like a father son. Makes you wonder about that kind of thing. But thanks for being here for me. I just want to get this out. This creepo need caught 41 videos, and I think that the $10,000 still it's not enough. Yeah, hopefully they will get the digital footprint. That's true, and it makes you wonder. It does make you wonder if he is affiliated with that other guy. That's 50 old, and I'm glad he's got. I'm glad of his sentence as well. And the kind of things that that girl said that that man did, I wouldn't put it past him. You had issues with your police over the last few days. What kind of issues you have? I got a feeling that the story I did the other day, I got a feeling that the perpetrators were in the United States because if you remember, it said that they gave records over to the other agencies and the wherever that they had found evidence of sexual things going on with kids. Tried to arrest a teenager in her home. Oh my goodness. Did the kid do anything wrong? Oh yeah, the police have been being bullies for a while, in different states. That's why, people ask me, why don't you call the police? I'm like, the police ain't never protected me before, so I have called them a couple of times, like when they threaten a neighbor or when they threaten, like my ex-husband doing what he did to me, and they said, well, he can beat you all he like. It's like, don't these police, know that they're supposed to serve and protect? Don't they know that's their job to serve and protect? And it's horrible when they go and try to go into a home and arrest a teenager too. I'm glad y'all did. And now you know that that teenager is probably afraid of cops now the rest of their life. You know that? You scarred a child now to really hate police because of all that they just did. We got West Yorkshire Police. I need to write that down. Writing that down. Police. The video went viral. It's been on the news. Oh my gosh. These poor kids. I'm gonna try to look right here on YouTube right quick and see. Video went viral. West Yorkshire Police. Police arrest teen, I guess is what it's saying. See what it says. See if I'm able to. Oh, it's an autistic teenager? Autistic as well? Okay, I'm gonna put it where the video can be seen, audio. So I'm gonna change the audio right quick. So you won't be able to hear me for a minute so that
former Metropolitan Police Detective Chief Inspector, because a couple of stories about the police. A very good morning to you, Mike. The first one is about this autistic teenager who has been the subject of a massive kind of social media campaign, if you like. West Yorkshire Police have had to issue a statement about it. The bare bones appear to be that this particular situation has been exacerbated by a video which has gone out of what looks like very heavy-handed policing of a young woman who clearly is autistic and who clearly has a few problems communicating. She may or may not have been in a situation earlier in the evening before this happened. We'll have a look at the video in a little while. But West Yorkshire Police are saying we are aware of a video circulating on social media which, as is often the case, only provides a very limited snapshot of the circumstances of the incident. I mean, it's unfortunate for them, but it doesn't make them look very good, does it?
Well, two things on this, Mike. Firstly, my youngest daughter's autistic, and she says what she sees. So if if somebody looks like their lesbian grandmother, they will simply say, "You look like my lesbian grandmother."
Right.
They don't think of the social context.
Right.
The
Also,
second thing
I wasn't aware that saying something like that was illegal, by the way.
Absolutely. And the second thing is that the statement says that she's been arrested for a homophobic public order offence.
Yeah.
Now, as I understand it, this conversation took place in the house, the dwelling, and the Public Order Act makes clear that the offences don't apply in a dwelling.
Right.
Because it's the Public Order Act, it's about being in public. And so this seems to me, if that is the case, if the conversation took place in the house, this was an unlawful arrest, if they're the facts, because the power of arrest simply didn't exist. But I just think, away from the legal stuff, when the officer says, when the mother says, look, she's autistic, and she says, I don't care, that is completely unacceptable.
Yeah.
You know, you're supposed, as a police officer, I could be the tough guy, but you've also got to be compassionate. And I think what's happened here, there's been a bit of anger going on here, and something's been said previously, possibly, or whatever else, and it's all come to a head, and this girl's been grabbed and arrested. And I'm afraid it looks like she shouldn't have been arrested at all, because, as I've said, that it is not an offence.
Yeah.
If me and you are in my house and we have a row, that is not a public order matter, because we're not in public.
Right, exactly. And if, for example, some police officer has been offended or has been in some way maligned and has been physically kind of attacked verbally rather than physically, unfortunately, you know, that's just part of the job, you know, and the police should be trained, should they not, to be maybe more tolerant than your average citizen, because they are going to be sworn at, they are going to be called names, they might be ridiculed, you know, surely they have to be better at reacting to that.
Well, absolutely, and that is what the courts take into account. So what the courts will say is that a police officer can't be the person offended by rude language and the like, because, of course, as a police officer, you get used to this. You know, my other half is a nurse, and she gets abused regularly when she, by drug addicts and whatever else. You call her all sorts of wicked names. But as a public sector servant, you just sort of get used to it and get on with it. And the remark made, "You look like my lesbian nana," or whatever, is hardly offensive at all. It's just a statement of fact from a kid who's got autism.
Exactly right. Well, let's have a look. We've got the video here. I think the first start of it is silent, but some viewers may find the video a little bit disturbing. This is the police apparently arriving at the house of the woman, the young woman who basically supposedly was arrested, I think, or at least was detained for being drunk in the city centre, which is the only kind of fact that we've really got. The police say they received a call. It was after midnight. What we can see is one of the police officers there getting pretty worked up. She's the one that says she doesn't care that the young woman, who we're not showing because she is under the age of 16, they don't seem to want to be talked out of it, do they?
No, they don't. And I think what the public will ask is, when you saw the initial video, there were 7 police officers there. Now, the detection rate for burglary in West Yorkshire and the rest of the country is something like 5%.
Right.
You know, 95 out of 100 crimes go unsolved. 99 out of 100 thefts go unsolved. And so, it's right that the police looked after this girl and she was found drunk and did a good thing and took her home rather than taking her to the cells or whatever. That's good, sensible, practical policing. But also, it's turned into an absolute ridiculous situation where you've got 7 officers to arrest seemingly a 15 or 16-year-old girl, and the public will ask, why aren't they employed on better things? There was all sorts of... I looked at rape, for example, stranger rape, when both parties are not known to each other. Only 6% in London solved. It's quite incredible. This is what officers should be working on, not arresting some girl who can't help what comes out of her mouth. Right.
And as you say, looking at the scene there, and it's inside the house, and as they say in their statement, officers returned to the address and heard comments which were suspiciously homophobic and possibly against public order. As you say, none of that could be true. And at the end of the day, people will look at that picture and say, well, how do you get that many police officers around to your house? I mean, how does it work?
Well, that's right. I mean, just you get your house burgled or get robbed tomorrow, or your wife gets indecently assaulted, would 7 officers turn up to help you? Unless you rang up and said, like, oh, I've got a gun and I'm going to start shooting everybody, then they possibly would turn up. But it just seems an extreme response. And I really just think sometimes you just need to say sorry and say, look, we made a big mistake here. And most people accept that. we're back, and we need to sort this out right now. But any police officer worth his salt would know instantly that that is not a crime. And so why mess around even more? Because all you do is dig the hole deeper. And Mike, the tragedy is this: is that the police rely on public support. I used to be told, who was dealing drugs, who had a gun, who did this. But people don't tell you those things unless they trust you. Right. And public trust in the police is ebbing away as the public see this. It's almost like the police are not on the public side. And it's really distressing for me, because I was absolutely proud to be a Scotland Yard detective. And when you see what's happening now, you just think, what in God's name is that an officer could be offended by that. But you got to imagine, it's a whole cultural thing. The whole police has been wokeified, you might say, and promotions depend on not how many criminals you catch, but how woke you are.
Well, I mean, yesterday we were hearing that Sir Mark Rowley was saying that he was frustrated because there's about 200 police officers in the Met, some of whom are under suspension, who are basically, in his words, bad apples, but they can't be fired. So he's asking for more information and more powers so that he can get rid of these rogue cops in less than sort of 10 years. Meanwhile, this morning, Surrey and Sussex police have issued a guideline to their officers who say that if they question a colleague's gender, they might be fired.
Well, in the Met, you had the case of an officer who had 2 warrant cards.
Yeah.
One day they could turn up male and the other day female. So how can you not question that? And how can you think, who can these people search? Do we send this person, if you're male today and female tomorrow, do you really want to go and see that child abuse victim who's autistic and 7 years old, who really doesn't understand what's going on here? So what do you find? I think Harry Miller's made this point in one of the articles, who's the ex-Hull policeman who took the police to court for this non-hate crime incident business. And he makes a point about being down a rainbow rabbit hole. And what you've got is the inside of the police, they're obsessed with woke. So when Sussex and Surrey released that statement, they would have thought, the public will be really impressed with us that we're doing this. What they don't seem to get is the public would be far more impressed if Surrey police caught more than 4 out of 100 burglars. But they are stuck in a world where it's internalised. So they all think the same. If you look at the chief constables, they all think the same. When I joined the police, there was half of the senior officers are ex-army, another half possibly ex-university graduates. Now they're entirely dominated by ex-university graduates who have a sort of liberal left view of the world. And what happens though, they talk about diversity, but absolutely no diversity of thoughts. Every single one of them will have the same, guardian-centred view. And as I say, they would have put that statement out thinking that the public will be impressed, and they just don't get it. They don't get that the public want the police to deal with burglary, robbery, theft. They don't care about officers being, bisexual, homosexual, gay, black, white, Asian.
Just do the job.
Male or female. They just want people to come along who are professional, who can do their job and catch the criminals who have hurt them in some way.
Exactly right. Listen, Mike, sorry to run late with you there. We've got not enough time to talk about all the problems in the police, but there we are. Mike Neville, former Metropolitan Police Detective Chief Inspector.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, they need to do their job, and that was horrible that they came and bothered an autistic girl. She just stated the fact that the policewoman looked like her lesbian grandmother. She just stated the fact. Autistic people, they view things and they're direct with what they have to say. Thanks for coming. And then the 131 will be about that other guy that raped the little girl and the story behind all that. And thank you for coming. I appreciate you, and thanks for letting me know about that. Because police are supposed to serve and protect. They're not supposed to cause chaos. It's not a feelings court. So thank y'all for coming, and that ends this one for now. Quite welcome. Lots of love. I think if they did their jobs, it would make things a lot easier and a lot better. Thank you. But like I said, with that guy just getting $10,000 fine, $10,000, he needs more than that when there's 41 cases, these videos of children that he had sexually explicit on his Dropbox, in his Dropbox. He needs more time than that. He should serve, you know, a lot more time and also per case, per child, per incident. Okay, thank you so much for coming. I'll talk to you later.